What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Good morning. Another day, another another circus at Man United. Um, More stuff to happen, really. A lot more rumours. A lot more's been going on in the evening, coming out this morning. And it's time for transfer view again. What was the thing I said? The last thing before we finished the last show, the last live show was yesterday morning. I said, see you tomorrow, guys. Be a whole batch of new players or something like that. We'll be linked with a whole host of new players. Don't know who, but we'll see who tomorrow. Peace. I think I said something like that. And this morning, it's Joao Felix, Casemiro, and Caicedo, and the Rabiot deal is off. But we have to start at the Joao Felix situation. Smash a like on the video. Peeps, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Owen, talk to me. What's going on now? Joao Felix, good player. Good player, isn't it?
Well, also, obviously, we're a little bit late this morning. Just, explanation. It's not KG. We're actually on the phone to Elon Musk to get some exclusive details about Manchester United and the purchase of Elon. It's going to be part of the portfolio with Twitter. I know that deal hasn't gone through. Nor is the Elon Musk deal going through. Elon Musk's not buying Manchester United, folks. We'll get to the end of the show. Oh, I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning, looked at my phone and went, Elon Musk goes, oh, and by the way, I'm buying Twitter. Thank you. I went, I've had enough of this. Not when I'm sleeping, United. Not when I'm sleeping. That's my sanctuary. That's my dreams. I don't want them polluted.
So do you know what's funny? Just quickly before you start on the Felix story, what's funny is that I had my moment yesterday where I remember I said I got back, took me a couple hours to get back home. It was traffic. There was this, that, and the other. And I thought, right, I'm just gonna order Chinese, whatever. And I was just chilled. And then you messaged me saying, look at all this crap. Look at this. Look at that. And I had my moment. And then I was like, this club, like I've done 2 videos already today. Wasn't best pleased. Get back from TalkSport, thinking evening's out. And then they did all that yesterday evening. I was just like, this club. And you had yours in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night. Woke up. I'm not safe. I'm never safe. Elon Musk. Oh, unbelievable. Anyway, Joao Felix. So after Adrian Rabiot deal that collapsed last night, as you mentioned, Flex, we've been linked with a plethora of other players and alternatives. Midfield one we'll get into in a second, but Joao Felix is one name that has been linked to Manchester United. Now, it must be said by Master straight away that Atletico Madrid have no intention of selling the player, but it was reported by Jose Felix Diaz, of course, journalist based in Spain, that Manchester United met with people with from Joao Felix entourage in Madrid yesterday evening. United made their intentions to sign him clear, but Atletico firmly stated they do not want to sell their franchise player. The presence of the Man United executives in Madrid suggests that more attempts for both Casemiro and Joao Felix will take place over the next few days. But as I mentioned, Atletico Madrid have been firm in their stance. They don't want to get rid of their franchise player. When I saw this one, Flex, and I'm in one of these moods this morning, I don't know if you can tell, I'm prickly, I think was the best way to describe it. When I see that we're linked with Joao Felix, that's great. But, there are so many things. I'm linked to earning £1 billion. It's not happening, though, is it?
Oh, where's that? I haven't seen them links. What's going on there?
I'm facilitating the Elon to United deal.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You're linked to about earning $1 billion. I need to jump on Twitter.
Yeah.
Hashtag Owen. Hashtag Owen dividends.
Yeah, exactly. It's ludicrous, isn't it? I'm also linked to having a 6-pack, but I don't have one at the moment. Okay, and it's not going to happen for a while. Okay, it's just silly.
Yeah. We ain't getting him.
No, and it's not wanting to be like, negative, you poo-poo and every deal, but we are not getting Joao Felix.
Nah.
Why would we get him? Adrian Rabiot, who had 1 year left on his contract, had issues about, Champions League football. I don't know. Why on earth would Joao Felix want to come to Manchester United at this point? Why?
How are we in a position to get one of the world's best, one of Europe's best youngsters, if not the up and coming young, like he is it, he's a fantastic player. But away from how good the player is, we all know about his qualities and what a good signing it would be for Manchester United if we could get him. We're not. Like you said, this is what we spoke about, Manchester United not being attractive anymore. And on top of that, a fairly decent run club like Atletico, who seem to have done their business and they seem settled. Okay, there's a bit of Ronaldo rumors going around that they might want him and stuff like that. I saw some reports that the hierarchy want him, but Simeone wants him, but the hierarchy are like, not really sure. I don't think they do it. They don't trade Ronaldo for Joao Felix. They don't get rid of their future. You know, the young up and coming hungry player who's fantastic. They want him to play alongside his compatriot. You know what I mean? That's what you want Ronaldo and Joao Felix. It's like it's for Portugal. Um, you don't sell Joao Felix and get Ronaldo for 1 year. You don't, or two max. Like you just don't do that. And I would be stunned if that. And it's an absolute reach. I hope it's not. I would love it to be true and we get him, but because I know that's not the case, I hope this is just not true and we can just move on from it.
Yeah,
Like how
if we're in
the
Madrid,
thing. Yeah,
if we're actually in Madrid trying to knock on doors, going, Joao Felix, we're talking to Joao Felix's agent. Oh, we'd be interested. I hope we're not even there, honestly, because we know that's not happening. We don't. And United have a history and a precedent of doing this, of going after players when the assumption is, why are you going after them? Because they don't want to come. Obviously, the Frenkie de Jong saga is what it is this summer, right? But also, you go back. Remember Cesc Fabregas? When we linked him when he was still at Barcelona, we want Cesc Fabregas. Fabregas was like, I don't want to come to Manchester United. A year later, he left because he was open to leaving then. But like, it's almost the arrogance in the face of, you know that this player doesn't want to come and you're not going to be able to get him. But we're Manchester United. We can get this player. We can go in. If it's Manchester United knocking on the door, we're bigger than Atletico Madrid. Well, Atletico have done way more than us in the last decade. And the pull that Manchester United once had isn't there anymore, especially given the current circumstances. So again, you just it's honestly laughable to be like, oh, we're going to get Joao Felix. How old is he? 21, 22, something like that. They signed him not long ago for over 100 million quid. And what we going to buy him for less than that? Because he's probably worth more at this point.
Yeah, exactly. He's worth more. Exactly. If that's the benchmark then, and he's improving as a player. And Joao Felix is often here's the ironic thing about Joao Felix, yeah. He's often spoke about in this vein of like, what a player, man. Needs probably a more progressive team. Bring it out of him. Needs to unleash his wings. Man United. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Man United to be that team. Yeah, and his team plays better football than Atletico Madrid. Needs a team that would really let him off the leash. Yeah, Man United in its current form. And you know what? Atleti, should know how to say it after, being around them so much last year and doing the previews and stuff. Atleti would rather sell. They're getting rid of Griezmann and Morata before they're getting rid of Joao Felix. Even maybe Cunha, and they said no to that. Do you know what I mean? So it's a ridiculous link. Again, it's not so much that, Flex, don't you want us to go for good players? He'll be an amazing signing. Of course, he would be an amazing signing, but it's the fact that it's potentially wasting time again. But this isn't in praise to Manchester United. This is just a byproduct of their failings. They're now not going to, well, they never are, even on a good day, but especially in a bad day, in a bad moment, in a bad window, they're not going to be able to be in control of all of these wild links that happen now. Like, we said this as soon as we got to 2 weeks left of the window, and United basically saying we've got some cash to burn through. Any takers, we're panicking. As soon as it got to that, every agent, every media outlet, everyone can cash in on that. You can cash in on that on a media outlet by just making stuff up because it's going to get traction. It's going to get interactions. It's going to get people talking. And you can cash in on it if you're an agent, if you're a club, if you're a player, because Man United are desperate, try and get some more wages at your current club, try and get a new deal at your current club, or try and go to Man United and do what Rabiot tried to do and get super, super, super money. So they're not going to be able to control that. And I'm not defending the club saying, it's not their fault. This is a rumor that they can't. I'm saying this is what happens when you operate in this manner. You know what I mean? The vultures are out from all angles,
Can you imagine Atletico Madrid go, look, especially with this whole Ronaldo dialogue, Morata, you'll be interested in Morata, yeah? Or what about Griezmann? You'd be interested in Griezmann? United go, what about Joao Felix? And they'd be like, how about you F off? Like that is crazy. That is. Well, I tell you now, Flex, this is the last time I talk shit about Elon Musk this early in the morning. Because this is obviously, Elon, you're a very powerful man. Tesla's great. I believe in what you're doing when it comes to Mars. I apologize. Just let us stream in peace. Sorry, Elon.
Elon came for us, mate. He said,
Whoa.
keep my name out your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was
what he
even
did.
questioning if he was the richest man in the world before we went live.
Yeah, he
And
goes, watch this.
clearly you are. Clearly you are. So I apologize.
But yes, where was we rounding up that
Oh yeah, Joao Felix. Not gonna happen.
situation?
Not gonna
Yeah.
happen. It's silly. It's silly. It's as silly as the stream. Not happening. Nope.
Don't call our stream silly, man. Have some respect.
I told you I'm in a prickly mood this morning. My coffee hasn't settled. Yeah.
Yeah. My order of stuff of super chats is not really the order, so I'm going to go off the chat here. Amir says, I think the upcoming performances will determine how attractive we are in the market, because at the moment it's not looking good, bruv. Yeah, it's not. And where are we at? That is people saying it's frozen, which we are not frozen anymore.
I can see them.
Oh, there you go. You go for it then, if you've got them in there.
So Robin says, why is Ronaldo waiting 2 weeks for a statement? We're going to talk about that and his Instagram comments on another Ronaldo fan page, by the way. Shubham says, Felix, Casemiro, Kuna, who's next? Sachin Tendulkar. If he can do a job, you know, if he can do a job.
Legendary cricketer, just rocking up at Man United.
Yeah. Chavish says, hi, Owen, you're going to hate this one. Oh, no. What's your prediction for the Liverpool matchup, and what is your predicted lineup? Wow. I don't do predictions. I've done them twice this season, and we've lost twice. So, predicted lineup. We'll get into it in the preview. The preview, it will be dropping Saturday. I think it's coming out. So, we'll get into it in the preview with a special guest. Amir says, you said that one. Treble champ, even though the Musk thing was silly, there was actually unusual trading on United stocks on the exchange yesterday. Something is happening. Facts. I think, Flex, when it comes to the whole ownership thing, as I mentioned previously, even if nothing is happening imminently, as long as the conversation is still ongoing and the names are still being put out there, or the idea that the club could be sold is still being put out there, that will hopefully attract today. It will hopefully attract people to make an offer. Byron says, I think the club is for sale. It's no coincidence. Right before Elon comments, there were 2 reports that stated the Glazers are more open to sell. So there you go.
Yeah, just on that really quickly, I was with my boy Ade Oladipo on TalkSport 2 yesterday.
Yeah, you were on that show.
Yeah, and it was really weird because we was talking to John Smith, who I know, and you know, we spoke about a lot of great stuff, and then right at the end before he went, no provocation, like no asking him what he thinks or anything. He went, "Oh, actually, before I go, I just wanted to say, I think Manchester United will be sold within the next 24 months. I just have a feeling that." I mean, how they looked at each other and was like, "Where did that come from?" And then when he left, I did say off air, I said to Ade, I said that was a bit weird that John's, you know, he's a really well-known guy. He's a legend in the football, you know, agent space. He was the first super agent. You know, he was Maradona's agent, and he was the first, you know, guy to sort of bring agents over to the Premier League. Real pioneer, real trailblazer in the game. And to hear him say that just randomly, yeah, I did just think, oh, why did he say that? I didn't necessarily think, oh, that means it's going to happen, but I just thought that was weird. And then when I saw all the quotes coming out of it last night, me and Ade were like, no one even credited us for that. We were on that show. But listen, I can't. I don't know. There's a lot of discussion about it, which is good. So let's see what happens, innit? Let's see what happens. Let's go to the next story, Owen. What do we have?
Casemiro and Caicedo, midfield alternatives. Let's start with Casemiro and then move on to Caicedo. So it's been widely reported last night by the likes of David Ornstein, etc., that Manchester United are considering a £50 million move for Real Madrid midfielder Casemiro. According to the Telegraph, Ten Hag is keen on Casemiro, even though Casemiro has 3 years left on his contract. Real Madrid may be prepared to negotiate, having signed Tchouaméni and Camavinga and having Valverde already at the club. Whether or not, though, Casemiro wants to leave Real Madrid and step away from Champions League football remains to be seen, but a move to Manchester United is being discussed for, as I mentioned, that fee of around 50 million. It's also been reported by ESPN that Manchester United already accept that a deal for Casemiro is a long shot, but they have been given enough encouragement that an agreement could be possible to pursue it. But Casemiro's preference would be to stay at Real Madrid. A move has not been ruled out for him. And when it comes to, is it Moises? Is that how you say it? Moises Caicedo?
Moises Caicedo, yeah.
Is emerging as a top target for Manchester United. That comes from Fabrizio Romano. He also said Manchester United have Moises Caicedo's name in the list of one of many options for midfield, as revealed on his podcast. Yeah, on the list. Brighton want to keep Caicedo, so it's not an easy deal in case Manchester United would like to proceed. So Casemiro, Manchester United already accept. Difficult deal to do that one. It's a long shot, but we're going because they've received encouragement. That sounds very Frenkie. It's a tough deal to do, but there's been encouragement. And Caicedo, they go, look, I mean, that one could get done, but it's late in the transfer window. Brighton have sold players. Brighton want to keep him.
They're going to say 50. They paid like 4 million for him, didn't they? Something stupid like that. They'll just say 50.
Even more, I reckon. Yeah. Even more. Cucurella, look at that price. Look at that price they established for that.
Or 58, something like that. It's peak.
Yeah. So both of those people, the alternatives, are even in United's eyes unlikely, but we're going for it anyway.
Here's the thing on Casemiro. If he was that important, or if he was that high up on the list, because great player, why didn't we get him before trying to get Rabiot then? How? Like, because even when we was getting linked with Rabiot and getting linked with Savic again, Milenkovic-Savic, it was like we still need an actual defensive midfielder, like a destroyer in there who wins the ball back and can facilitate the play. More of the mold of like a Casemiro. But here's the thing about Casemiro as well, because we ain't getting him. That's the first thing. But second thing is also what would like Casemiro in our current squad, like Casemiro works well at Real Madrid because he has Modric and Kroos ahead of him. Like it's a function midfield, Valverde in there, top class midfielders. You put him with the likes of a Bruno, or he just gives the ball away for fun, or Fred or McTominay, or obviously it would be a good start to get a player like him. But what could he even do by himself? How much would he change Man United by himself? If he's the only midfielder that we get. All right, you could say Eriksen, Casemiro, and someone else. He's a definite top draw player. I'm not questioning that. I'm just questioning, one, what does it look like if he's the only one to arrive and we still got all the rest? And two, which is probably more important, why, like you said, why on earth does he want to come to us? How? And why didn't you get him before Rabiot then? Why weren't you trying to get him if you got all these deals that are easy to get going and you can start cooking them up and stuff? How?
And it's like the Joao Felix one, isn't it? It's not to say that this wouldn't be an unbelievable signing for Manchester United. Clearly it would. Casemiro in our midfield, that'd be amazing. And he's better and a way preferable option to me than signing Rabiot, 100%. But again, this isn't Football Manager. If this was Football Manager, when you're looking for players, there's a button you can click that says unrealistic targets. United have got it unticked. They've got it unticked. They're going, Joao Felix, Casemiro. Like it just, and it felt to me like last night, it must be said, that it was like, we're not getting Rabiot, but we're getting Casemiro. So United go, okay. So that's good then. But it's not. I don't know. How old is Casemiro? It doesn't really matter. But he's got 3 years left on his contract. And it feels like if he had 1 year left or something like that, you go, well, I can kind of see where United are going with that one there. That feels like there is a deal maybe to be done. But even in that scenario, which isn't the scenario, but even in that scenario, you would go, as is all the problem for Manchester United this summer, Champions League football. And it's not a case of United being like, well, we haven't got it this season, but next season we are going to get it. Chances are already, I know it's only 2 games, but chances are you wouldn't bet on United being in the Champions League next season. Obviously, the Europa League could happen, but given the current form, who knows?
We're not winning the Europa League.
So for all of it, any player worth his salt, not only are they coming to United and knowing they're not going to play Champions League football this season, they're thinking, well, when would I actually be playing Champions League football?
100%. And
they would put that into their contracts.
Is he bored of winning?
That into their contracts. They would say, well, by the way, if I don't get Champions League football, my wage is what it is. That's not getting cut, and it's going to be high because I'm taking what is a step down. So all of it is just, like I said last night, it's you reap what you sow. This position of scrambling for alternatives, of possibly overpaying for players or paying these high wages. That's all because, the business didn't get done and just the mismanagement over the last decade. And we're getting to the point now where it's silly. It is really silly.
Yeah, it's getting stupid. Like, has Casemiro just got bored of his medals then? Is he just at home looking at his
It'll call it Cristiano.
Five-time CL champion. That's what he is. Like, is he bored? Is he bored of winning? Yeah, do you know what?
I want to lose.
I can't stand all these medals in my house of Champions League. I can't stand all these La Ligas and Copa del Rey's and whatnot. I can't stand all these Club World Cups and stuff like that and this winning mentality. I can't stand this era of Real Madrid dominating both in Spain and across Europe. 3 years left on my deal. Yes, all right, cool. They got Tchouaméni and they got Camavinga. So I saw some reports saying he's a little bit unsettled by those guys arriving because that's just a really well-run club, just planning for when, Casemiro comes out and when Modric and Cruz are, getting less game time or whatever. But, mate, if anything, it's employed to get a better deal.
It'll do a Gareth Bale. It'll be like, well, even if I don't play, I can sit on the bench all year and still get a Champions League medal, which I won't get at Manchester United. And if he calls up people that used to play for Madrid that currently play for United, i.e. Ronaldo, Varane, picks up the phone, gives it that, I'll give him a call. Then he goes, oh, Jesus, they're not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Exactly.
what's Varane going to say? Oh, it's great here.
Yeah. And with Ronaldo as well, same thing.
Yeah.
It's just an absolute mess. I was just thinking in my head, just so randomly, you see when Booker T says, like, I'm 5-time WCW champion, he always used to say that, yeah?
Yeah.
But technically that means you're shit as well because you lost it like 4 times.
What you're trying to do, Flex, is trying to put logic into wrestling. There's not a lot of logic in wrestling. You have to just leave it as it is. That's it.
5-time WCW champion player. But it's like, yeah, but mate,
can you dig it, sucker?
Can you dig it?
Yeah.
Booker T was wicked, man.
Fire.
Yeah. But yeah, it means you lost it quite a few times, mate. It means you don't hold on to it very often. You have to keep winning it back. It means you're shit.
By the way, I just noticed that there was over to like 2,000 people watching, and it just sort of hit me going, there's over 2,000 people watching. It's a transfer show. We're doing a Booker T entrance. How bad has it got?
That bad, isn't it? That's what you got to do. You know what I mean? Oh, Rikishi, sick. Of course you got to remember Rikishi.
Yeah.
Remember Rikishi
with
when
his
he
glasses.
was with his glasses when he's in Too Cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's not do the nostalgic wrestling thing. Let's move on to let's move on to the next story, Owen. And smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not new. Remember, the full view is out now. If you didn't check it out on Sunday, it was explosive. And the tactical view with Cam, which has done really well. A lot of good positive comments. People really enjoying what Cam's doing, and that show will continue to grow throughout the season. We'll add more layers to it, add more things to it as we develop the show. So yeah, make sure you check that out. This one's interesting, Owen. Ronaldo hits out.
Yes, so Cristiano Ronaldo is back on. Back on Instagram.
Here we go.
He's back on Instagram, and Ronaldo's got receipts. He's a man of my own heart. So he responded to another one of these Ronaldo fan pages. They've given us quite a few. This Ronaldo fan page, it's CR7.0_Leandro. That is the name of it. And it's got like loads of followers. It's unbelievable. So the story was about just obviously all the speculation going around about Cristiano Ronaldo. And Ronaldo responded to it, as he has done a couple of times this summer. And he said, quote, "They know the truth when they interview in a couple of weeks. The media is telling lies. I have a notebook. And in the last few months, one of the 100 news I made, only 5 were right. Imagine how it is. Stick with that tip." So basically he's saying the media's lying about me. Out of 100 stories, only 5 have been correct. So then you start going, oh, which ones were correct?
Well, even that, if we just pause there, yeah? If we just pause there for a sec before you carry it, was there more of that story?
No.
All right, okay. So let's get into it, right? Let's get into what's going on here. This is about to be, bigger than All or Nothing. Oh, the Ronaldo interview is going to come out. What's he going to say? What's he going to do? Secondly, so 2 weeks from now, 17th, so the transfer window would be shut in 2 weeks.
So basically,
you might not even be a Man United player.
Yeah, he's saying, well, my interview in a couple of weeks when I leave.
might not even be, is it either one or two things can happen. Either he leaves the football club and we try to move on from the saga and the mess, and then he goes and does this mad interview and it just brings it all back up again. Or worse, which in my opinion is worse, not worse because he stays, but just worse, he stays and then does that interview and brings it all back to the saga. So I don't think we can win out of this. And then thirdly, if you're looking at only 5 were right, well, mate, that still seems pretty damning because there wasn't a lot of positives said about you. It was all about speculation. It was all about wanting to leave. It was all about being a problem in the dressing room, or you don't want to be here anymore, and you're looking at teams, and there's not been a right. You could say it is correct that I couldn't find a suitor. That's true. Nobody wanted me. There's no deal to be done yet. That's true. But other than that, the only news that there has been negative. There hasn't been one bit of news that said, well, actually, no, because he's saying the media are lying. He's not saying Ten Hag's like the club and Ten Hag have said the whole time that they want him to stay in public. So we can't be talking about them. If it's purely the media, every media outlet, whether it's Fabrizio Romano, whether it's Ornstein, whether it's our domestic journalists, whether it's journalists from abroad who may be less credible, unanimously across the media's landscape has been Ronaldo wants to leave. And he's saying 5 of those are right. It's by what he's saying. And this is what we have to do. We have to guess because he won't just come out and just say what it is. He has to wait 2 weeks to do this interview. Which by also, what is this? Why does he have to? What's going on? What on earth
obviously,
is going on?
look, obviously it's a circus, it's a soap opera, it's Manchester United, it's all of the above. We have said on a few occasions, haven't we, that we want him to come out and speak. So the fact that he is planning on doing that, or maybe he's already done it. Maybe this interview has already been filmed and it is going to be coming out in 2 weeks. I don't know. Maybe that's going to be, remember, because Paul Pogba,
that's true.
He was filming interviews and then they came out after he left, but that whole documentary thing was being filmed. So who's to say that Ronaldo hasn't actually filmed an interview or whatever that is going to be dropping in 2 weeks with whom, where, we don't know. It could have been filmed ages ago whilst he was in Portugal. So the fact that he's coming out to speak, I find that encouraging. I'd like myself some clarity as to what's going on in his situation at Manchester United. As a United fan, I'm morbidly curious because every time the sort of veil is lifted slightly at Manchester United, you're horrified with what you see. When it comes to how the club negotiates, how they operate, the owners, the executives, how transfer stuff happens. Whenever you hear anything about that as to what actually happens, you go, oh my goodness. So who knows? Who knows how bad truly this is? And who knows what has been said to Cristiano Ronaldo from the club on several occasions? Maybe when he first came in, I don't know this to be a fact, but maybe when he first came in with Ollie and that, they said, by the way, if it doesn't go well, we don't qualify for the Champions League. We can figure that out. Maybe who knows what's happened with Manchester United. So the fact that he is going to speak on the matter, I think is encouraging. But from a club point of view, with everything that's going on, with the shambles that is the transfer window, with a poor start to the season, Cristiano Ronaldo has got out his notebook, which he says he has. Legitimately, he has a notebook. He's keeping receipts. Now, he's talking about the media, so maybe he's going to call out specific journalists, specific outlets. I don't know. Maybe he's going to call out the club.
That's what made me think that it hadn't been recorded yet, because he's like, right, I've got all the receipts. I'm going to go on smoke now and address all of you. That's the tone of it. Felt like I've got it written down. I've got my evidence. I'm planning my response. Is what if the energy?
But it's curious. It's curious because he's been specifically and very quiet. He could have at any point come out and said something, but he hasn't. So, like you said, maybe he's waiting to see what will happen about his future. Maybe he's waiting to see what happens, and then if he stays at United, this interview's dropping. If he leaves, which again looks like a real possibility now, then this interview could be with other media. I don't know, but one thing to say, it's certainly fascinating, no doubt about it.
I feel like I can accept that. A lot of people in the comments saying it, and you basically alluded to it as well. I could take that side of the argument. I wasn't really thinking of it that much, to be fair, so I can accept that. It probably is best for him to say something, like, because people were saying he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. So we said we wanted him to clear things up, and now he's about to. And we're sort of saying, well, I'm sort of saying, like, what does it mean? So I'll take a step back. Okay, that can bring some clarity, I suppose. So I accept that. I agree with people saying that. I just feel like on the other side of that coin, though, it's like it just adds to the mess. There's no denying that. Whether he speaks or he doesn't speak, that's true. It adds to the mess, and I just don't think the order of which these things have happened makes sense. The timeline doesn't make sense, and even to say that only 5 things have been true, I'm forced to speculate on what they are because I'm only going off what we've been given. What we've been given from the horse's mouth or from his fingers and his social media message is he's saying only 5 things in the media about me in this time have been right. And
Think about it. What is the best option for him, realistically? If you're Cristiano Ronaldo, is the best option that you sit there and say nothing, and in your mind's eye, people are lying about you? Or is the other option that, you wait it out for a couple of weeks till the window ends, and certainly that speculation will certainly cease or reduce, and then you say something? In my opinion, he has to say something. Like, the ambiguity is just, especially yesterday, like that report yesterday that came out from Simon Stone. And I'm not saying it's not accurate because I believe a lot of it really is. Simon Stone, as we touched on yesterday, does not come out and just say stuff wildly. He doesn't widely speculate. He's a BBC journalist. Like, that just doesn't happen. So some of the language certainly that was used in that report yesterday is quite like damaging. He's a bad influence or he's a negative influence with his attitude. Blah blah blah. Like, if that were me, I would say that I've got to say something about that because that's really criticizing my character and all that kind of stuff. And clearly he is going to. I agree with you that when he does speak, it doesn't help Manchester United, but I don't think he cares.
But is he going to go to the club then? Is he going to go to the club then? Because you can say the media's lying. Well, okay, fair enough. That means he's saying that if he's not going to say anything about the club, that means it would suggest that the club are saying that too, in terms of people like Simon Stone are lying then. Because if he's saying he's saying this is all media based, not anything to do with the club, not anything to do with the manager. And the noises we've heard from the manager and the club, albeit it's in public and we're hearing different things from behind the scenes. If we go off the facts of what the club have actually said, they said they want to keep Ronaldo and he's not for sale. And
do you think he comes out? Do you think he comes out in that interview and says, yeah, the media was all lying. I never wanted to leave Manchester United. I always wanted to stay. I'm committed to the cause. Rah, rah, rah. Because if he did do that, that is when people would go, I don't believe you.
Nah, me personally, with my own opinion, I'm not trying to push that to anyone else and say you must believe me. Or my personal opinion is that I've seen enough out there to make a judgment and form an opinion that I think he wants to leave the club, and is trying to.
The interesting aspect of it is people that are close to him, i.e. people like Rio Ferdinand or Bruno Fernandes that have actually spoken to him. When they've spoken to the media, especially with all that stuff that was happening on tour, they were like, no, this is legitimate. I've spoken to him. Once he explained to me the issue, I was like, okay, I just hope everything's okay. And again, I don't really want to speculate too much on that, but I feel like that might be something he would expand on afterwards.
Yeah, and that's why, and especially
and then say, oh, you're painting this as internal greed from me, blah blah blah.
But also, especially when it was going on with the stuff about his family and family reasons, that's why we were very, very clear on that in terms of, okay, let's park the family stuff. Let's not, because people were saying family stuff, my ass. Like, he just doesn't want to go and talk because he wants a move. That's one thing we did say categorically. After the year that he did have, it was down as family reasons. And when someone mentions the family word, it depends how you are as a person.
Yeah,
but we're like, cool. So maybe he could go down that route. And I do feel that now that he's said that he's going to speak his side of the story, his truth, his reality or whatever it's going to be, it's now a situation of really then, let's just wait and see what he says then. We can interpret that information, that interview, when it happens. Obviously, we all got an opinion on stuff because I just think the bits that didn't help himself was just, I don't know, like, I think it, personally, I can't tell a man how to live his life, but I think it should have been all or nothing then. You, like, addressing, like, some of the rumours as fake, but then not the others. Turning up to training with George Mendes, that doesn't happen. Was
100%. And
he
again,
done some
I don't
stuff on
think
social media, sort of, you know what I mean?
I don't
You're
think you
making,
can argue the fact that he doesn't want to leave Manchester United. As you mentioned,
yeah,
clearly he turned up to Carrington with his agent. He's had meetings with Richard Arnold, John Murtough, etc., Eric Ten Hag, even though Ten Hag says, he hasn't said to my face, they want to leave. Clearly he wants to leave. I think maybe what he might be pushing back on is the reasons why, let's say, he wants to leave. Maybe the
yeah,
narrative out there is he wants to leave because he wants to win things. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe the bigger part of it is more personal stuff, right?
yeah,
Maybe that's the aspect of it. Maybe that's what he'll push back on. Ultimately, as you mentioned, and this is where it gets really crazy as well. And this is why social media and the media are wild, because now that he said this on social media, if we get another report like we got yesterday, people will start
yeah,
going, what is he going to say? Like, have
yeah,
United now scared what he's going to say? Is this,
100%.
you know what I mean? Now it gets into all of this sort of PR and
We have to
conspiracy
basically like
theories,
leave it.
tinfoil hat. It just gets crazy
Yeah,
now, doesn't it?
we have to basically like leave it alone now and be like, right, well, he's going to talk in 2 weeks. But we say leave it alone. We might not be able to, because as the hours tick down on the transfer window, and it gets to deadline day and stuff like that, and he's still here or not still here, or something's materializing, we'll be forced to talk about Ronaldo, because we don't know if he's going to stay or going to go. Forget this interview. There's a future to sort out here. Is this player going to stay at the football club, or is he going to leave? Also, I was just thinking in my head there while you was talking. How do we not know? And this is just purely hypothetical. How do we not know he comes out and says, well, what people didn't know, what isn't being talking about, is that in my contract and conversations I had during last season or before I even signed was, I can leave.
Yeah,
So I
that's what I
was
said.
really,
That's what I said.
oh yeah,
Like,
so I was really
imagine,
surprised to
yeah,
hear the club
imagine
say they
he
want to keep me and I'm staying, I'm not for sale, but they told me, X, Y,
exactly,
Z. Almost like, I'm
exactly.
not saying Pogba was right, but when Pogba was giving his side of the story in that documentary, he was basically saying they didn't make offers, and they didn't act like they wanted me. They said they wanted me, but even we all came to a conclusion like, mate, they
Well,
put
and
an offer on
also
the
as
table.
well,
But do you know what I mean?
imagine he comes down and goes, "Yeah, Ollie lied to me." He would go, "Heard that before,"
Yeah,
you know.
exactly, exactly.
So
So
who's to say? Who's to say? Like you said, he didn't have a verbal promise of, yeah, it's in your contract that if we don't qualify, there's a 35% reduction. It's like that for everyone. But look, honestly, Cristiano, we understand that you didn't have to come here at this point in your career, and we want you to win things with us. And if it doesn't work out, we'll let you go. And then it doesn't work out, and then United don't let it go. Who knows? Honestly, who knows? And again, this is why now it gets crazy, because if we hear another report saying he's negative attitude, blah blah blah, who knows? Maybe his negative attitude is perfectly justified. Because we might get the reasons for it. So it's going to
clarity is all
be
we want. Clarity,
exactly
so we can just
100%.
move on from this debate, because this is all it creates. It creates you know different talking points, for reason A and reason B, because of the fact that there is no clarity. So hopefully we get that. Owen, what we got with the super chats?
The
I
last one
don't
that
know
I've
because
read.
mine wasn't coming up. Well, I'm starting at treble champ. If
Here
I
we
can
go.
start from there.
Mark
Okay.
Harris. Club is dusted. Get the Mr. Sheen. Ralph is laughing. Mr. Sheen, dust. Excellent
Yes.
pun. PS says Casemiro wants a payday at Real. Classic tactic. Liberty says Murto and Arnold should just resign. You and I could do a better job, even on Football Manager. Dear me, I could do a great job on Football Manager. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I'm good at that game, Flex. That's my game. Okay.
I've never played Football Manager.
Oh,
Actually.
it's brilliant. I told you the other day, like I've customized it all. I've got all the backgrounds, that's my game. How hard is it to plan and buy players? They continue. Lil Yo-Yo says, Flex, we need a Spinneroonie in the studio soon. That's one of my favorite moments.
It's one of my worst moments, one of my most embarrassing moments. It's one of my moments I look back and go, what are you doing? You're 35 years
You
of age,
called
spinning
me.
around on the floor. Why? Why are you doing that?
That stream ended, just to peek behind the curtain. That stream ended and Flex called me and went, what was I doing? I went, it's funny.
Idiot. Absolute idiot.
It was great. Lil Yo also says, members vid, wrestling specific. We can do a super wrestling
If you guys want that, yeah, that's right up Owen Street. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Seb Watson says, squad not good enough. Maguire captain, there's 2. Nathan's been a member of the UV Members Club for 2 months, says 3 of the 5 will be that he had a family issue. He's remained professional and trained well. He wanted to leave. Adil Chris says it could be the news that he wanted to leave because the club lacks ambition. Let the man speak. Let him go. Whatever. We are done anyways. JP
I like
says,
that, Addy.
yeah, to be fair, I think that's pretty much
Fair
right,
comment.
isn't it? Yeah. JP says, hold on to your tinfoil hats. Here we go. What if the Glazers know Ronaldo is going to release damaging information about the club, so they are preparing to sell? That is very
I can't see
tinfoil.
that. Yeah,
That's very tinfoil.
Yeah.
And MAK says, it doesn't matter what Ronaldo says. The club lies. The players lie. The media lie. We will never know what is true and what isn't. Basically, there's so much misinformation out there that
they're all liars.
Disseminate the truth. You're all liars. You all lied to me.
You all lied to me. And the last couple of stories, Owen, let's shoot over those. What's going on with with you know who, Mr. Frenkie de Jong?
Yeah,
I feel like this will be the last time we actually talk about him.
It might be
after this.
It won't. Paul Hurst from the Times says Manchester United expect Frenkie de Jong to move to Chelsea or stay at Barcelona. I believe also Samuel Luckhurst was saying last night that Frenkie de Jong to Manchester United isn't going to happen. Of course, Marcel van der Kraan was on Sky Sports yesterday saying that Manchester United's offer for Frenkie de Jong, just before it expired, they withdrew it. And the deal could still happen, but there is no agreed offer on the table. And the expectation, according to Paul Hurst, is that he will either move to Chelsea or stay at Barcelona. Just when you think, Flex, we couldn't get any more in the mud. The player that we have, you know what's crazy? With all of the madness that's going on at Manchester United, that this is almost a little bit buried. This is later on in the show. The guy we've chased for 3 months, he's not going to come to Manchester United. If he does move, he's moving to Chelsea or he's going to stay at Barcelona. But it's all right. We're chasing Casemiro. Don't worry about it.
And also, Paul Hurst has done that a bit of this window. Was his feeling is, or that he'll stay, or his feeling is that there haven't been his reports haven't really been like he's heard from clubs. I think his things have been mainly opinion pieces.
Yeah,
but I honestly,
he's not coming.
Honestly, I've got nothing to say on it. Nothing to say. I actually have nothing to say. I'm being serious.
Got nothing to say. You're like Jose after a red card.
If I speak, yeah, I honestly have no vote. I have nothing in there to talk about.
So you're saying there is no scenario at this point with 2 weeks left that Frenkie de Jong is holding up the shirt. Remember, what was it the other day? He's going to be a Man United player before the Liverpool game. How did that one go?
Rest my case. Over for me. Done. Will go down in history as remember that time we went and tried to get Frenkie. It will go down as one of them.
It's been a learning curve, it must be said as well, because never again. Never again.
Well, it won't be a learning curve because we'll end up in a saga for someone else at some point.
Maybe I'm talking more about myself in terms of the optimism.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Never again.
No.
Never.
No.
No, there's no expert analysis on this one. It's just
it's Barca stay, Chelsea move. All right.
Well, to be,
I don't even smoke.
the preference. What's the preference for you?
Oh, like stays at Barca.
Those options.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Chelsea. That would just be.
I mean, it's embarrassing anyway, isn't it? If he stays at Barcelona, you go, well, that's embarrassing. Barca just okay.
Yeah, and I can say that at least he's still trying to sort out his money, and we'll see like how he does that or whatever.
What? And then you go, well, once he gets his money back, going, we can go back in.
No. Didn't say that bit. Didn't say that bit. Don't add things in. I never said that bit. I just said it would just be interesting to see how he sorts that out legally and how they went on and lived happily ever after together in their relationship. But Chelsea. Yes, embarrassing. Don't want that to happen.
It'll be fine. They're going to use the 750th financial lever, and it'll be fine. They're going to sell off, I don't know, the Barcelona popcorn stand to get that contract sorted. But if he does go to Chelsea, look, I've said several times, I think it might have been on the overview, but like the idea that Chelsea hadn't had a good transfer window to me, I thought was ludicrous because. They signed Koulibaly, Cucurella, Sterling. They're signing that midfielder from Inter Milan.
Yeah,
they get
Frenkie defender de Jong now as well. I think some young defender.
Yeah, good signings. We saw him play against Tottenham. Adding Frenkie de Jong, it's just sad, isn't it?
Next, last story because it's true. It is though. That is what it is. And then you get this, and then you get that.
Fabrizio Romano has said that Mauro Icardi has been offered to Manchester United. Icardi's situation is really difficult. PSG want to find a solution soon, but the player does not intend to accept unwanted destinations. So, I could honestly, Flex, you know what the concerning thing is? I could really see this happening. I really could. The only thing is that this is probably a bit like a Rabiot situation, is that realistically, he probably doesn't want to come to Manchester United. We're not in the Champions League. He'd want a ton of money, obscene amount of money, and hopefully United would go, no. But again, we're talking about people with baggage. There's no doubt Icardi's not a good player, but
we ain't getting Icardi.
Come on.
And like I say, you talk about, well, it would be a Man United thing to do, to be fair, but you talk about flipping, players, like you said, coming with baggage and a bit of a circus around them. Icardi's definitely in that, bit of a rebel at PSG. They don't want him. He's been a problem. No. And again, we'll take your problem. We'll take your mess. We'll take your controversy and add it to ours. That's what we'll do. On top of that, like you said, he's going to absolutely put our pants down and ask for astronomical fees, and then Man United will be like, "Well, we're wasting our time here because we're not prepared to give you X." Again, these types of players who, I'm not saying he's an elite player, but he's a player like in a bracket, or PSG. It's money, and he's been in Champions League, and he's won things at PSG. Those types of players, to leave their big lucrative contracts, they want it replicating, especially at somewhere like Man United that has money. Especially somewhere at Man United that is desperate. They want all that replicating. So any player we get now, I don't think is going to come with humble, I'm just happy to be here. Just anything, man. They're going to say to their agent, listen, squeeze every single pound, euro, dollar, yen, flipping Australian dollar, bar, whatever. Squeeze every little bit of currency out of them that you can. I'll have it all, or I'm not going. That's
we're not in a position to negotiate. We're not in a position to negotiate, even for good players. And it's not to say that Cardi's not good, but you reap what you sow. This is the kind of player you go for when you find yourself in a situation of 2 weeks left of the window, you're desperate. My almost concern is like I saw Romano said, like when it comes to the midfielder, United will sign a midfielder before the end of the window, and then you start to go, well, who?
Yeah. Do you think Tielemans or Neves could just come from nowhere? Now Wolves bought that centre mid as well.
I mean, Neves is, I guess, a possibility. But again, the position that we are to negotiate is that Wolves will know. They'll say, well, okay, 75 million.
Minimum. That is minimum.
Yeah. And again, he's a good player. He's not worth that, clearly.
No.
The Tielemans one, like maybe because he's got the year left, you go, well.
Minimum
but
50.
Even Leicester play hardball when it comes to transfers as well. Look what they're doing with Fofana at the moment. He'll end up going to Chelsea, but for like 90 million or something ridiculous.
It's a piece.
And if that deal happens, they'll go, tell you what, we'll let Tielemans go on a free transfer because we've got our money this summer. We don't want to jeopardize our team much more. And again, they're in a situation where it's 2 weeks left for them as well.
They're struggling and they ain't got no one. They've got one goalkeeper, backup goalkeeper.
Exactly. The Wolves situation, you could go, well, they've already got the replacement, maybe. But again, it's just depressing. I knew it was going to be a bad day. When I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I saw the Elon Musk stuff and I went, oh, God.
I thought he's dreaming. He's like, what? Elon.
No, I looked at my phone and just went, I was like, not now. Not now.
You need to turn off the notifications at night, mate. That's what you need to do. Not have your phone going off in the middle of the night, mate. Mine's on do not disturb settings until the morning, mate. I'm
always available. You know me.
Yeah. Guys, thanks for watching. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. As you can see there, on the right-hand side of the screen, Tactical View is now out. We've got the transfer view every day at 9 a.m. People have still been asking.
Chats, by the way, Flex.
No worries. We'll get to them right at the end. That's fine. People have still been asking for the Flex and KG show. He is away on holiday, clearing his mind, clearing the air, getting his head back in the game, and he's just been extremely busy. So KG has not gone anywhere. He will be back soon. The full view is also out now as well, and we've got a whole load of content coming up with for you guys this week in the lead up to the dreaded Liverpool game. Owen to take us out. Yeah,
keep forgetting about the Liverpool game.
Exactly. It's going to be horrendous. But Owen to take us out of the show, finish off on the super stats, and we'll sign off, man.
Lil Yo-Yo says, in your honest opinion, who do you think will sign?
A far left midfielder. I don't mean one who plays left midfield. I mean like just out the bag, out the blue.
Yeah.
Flipping heck. I never thought that would happen. And a forward that is really underwhelming. Both will be underwhelming and just panicked, but I think we'll get forward in the midfielder.
Q says, because Q says, whenever you see my name, just say Q. I tell you what, it's one of those names I saw that does scare me because it's Encubicetha, maybe. I mean, my pronunciation is terrible anyway. So he says, whenever you see my name, say Q.
Okay,
anyway, the club is done. Don't sign anyone at this point. Clown emoji. And Shubham says, Murto is still on the world tour working 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Oh, some of those comments, those Richard Arnold comments have just not aged well at all, have they?
No, they haven't. They haven't.
And Reyes says, I'd take Felix. So would I.
Oh, we'd all take Joao Felix.
Yeah.
We'll take Joao Felix. But hey, there you go. There you go, guys. We'll be back with another video very, very soon, especially with everything going on at the club. We'll be reacting to news as and when we get it. Speak to you all very, very soon, guys. Thanks for watching. We're out of here. Peace.